Hi, my name is Colin SkipperWing Bird, and welcome to another episode of the speed paint series, The Crimson Fly, where you can see me, Colin SkipperWing Bird, making the animated webcomic, The Crimson Fly. You can also see me make the series in real time at twitch.tv/SkipperWing, and you can check out this video in its original interactive format at www.thecrimsonfly.com. Today's music is Friday by The Passion Hi-Fi, and there will be a link to download it in the description below. However, if you'd like a version of this video without the audio commentary, but still keep the music, you can check out the links in the description below, or in the cards, or in the annotations when they appear on screen at the end of this video. And I've just botched that because it's the cards that appear at the end of the video, not the annotations. Anywho, wait, that's wrong too. But the point being, you can check it out, the silent version, in other contexts. Okay, on to today's story. Oh no, our Crimson Legs character is about to be discovered by their friends, and they don't want them to know that, you know, they have freaky, like, cheetah legs. So what do? In desperation, they crawl up the back of a wall, accidentally. Now, admittedly, from a plot perspective, it sort of makes sense. It introduces the idea that the powers are more than just the legs, and that there's more to the powers than just, you know, what we see. The problem I have is that it's a little bit contrived, and the reason why I say that is that even if you were backed up against a wall, your first instinct isn't going to be to start crawling against it, because you don't know what you don't know. You don't have this instinct to try out something new. So the Crimson Fly crawling up a wall accidentally is almost as contrived to me as Peter Parker jumping out of the way of a car, jumping onto a wall and discovering that he can stick to walls and that he's super strong by, you know, grabbing a pipe once he gets to the top of the roof. Does it narratively make sense? Yes, in that it establishes the character's skill set in a limited amount of pages. But it does stretch suspension of disbelief because, you know, nobody does that in a situation. In fact, I think it's a lot more natural what they did in the Spider-Man movies. But, of course, the Spider-Man movies had 40 years of hindsight to make a more organic sequence of Peter accidentally sticking to his silverware, rather than, you know, jumping out of the way of a car and then jumping onto a rooftop in the process. So, but it is what it is, and it's actually more natural than what I was planning to do later, which is have the character exposit that they discovered the rest of their powers, which is probably still going to happen, unfortunately, because the wings are even harder to explain. But it is what it is. So yeah, the initial jump out of the way to the wall was pretty easy from an animation perspective. It was just basically figure out your start pose, figure out your end pose, and then go from there. It's not really that big of a deal. It's not that hard to figure out. What was hard to figure out was the backwards crawl up the wall, which the problem that I ran to is that I didn't reference it. I didn't get on the ground and start crawling backwards to see how that felt and how that would work. And if I had more time, then what I probably would have done is I probably would have actually recorded myself, or had my sister record me, or whoever's living with me, record me crawling backwards to get a sense of what the animation's like. And that actually brings me into why I didn't do that. Time. These strips, I have a week. And then they have to be up, and they have to be on to the next one. And anything I don't know how to animate, I gotta learn to animate on the fly. Otherwise, it just doesn't happen. And that would be no fun for everybody. Is that really a great excuse? Not really. I think with better planning, I could have gotten the reference I needed, but I didn't, so I didn't have it, which sucks. And I think that's why the animation doesn't look quite as smooth as it could have been. You see it sometimes in my animations where they're really, really smooth, even though they're not realistic at all. But then you also see times where it's like, I sort of get what the character's supposed to be doing, but I don't, because it doesn't work. And so, yeah, this is one of those situations. Something else that didn't quite work is the effect of the backlighting moving up the wall with him with them as they're crawling. So crawling backwards, 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 backwards. You can see those lights sort of reflecting backwards. Not really as organic as I would have liked, mostly because that's something where doing it as a as a repeated pattern, not very easy. And again, this is where the time factor sort of comes in again, in that with more time, it could have been smoother, or it could have been, it would have looked better, or what have you, whatever thing you want to, however you want to explain it away is. But I have a week. So, that being said, I think this is pretty good for a week. What do you guys think?